We can be serious and still have humor. We can be serious and laugh.
Dr. Jean is a licensed therapist, a family counselor. She works with families and individuals going through sadness, depression, other issues. Also, I could not do a series without talking about PTS and PTSD, especially a series on depression. Now, I must tell you, this is the last time you're going to see me face-to-face in this class. Please keep your applause down and your cheering. Don't start celebrating yet, because you're going to see me interview Dr. Jean when she's going to tell us about something very unique, which we haven't talked about in any class, that'll help us get through sadness and depression, and what happens when that memory will not go away, and what we can do with that memory. So Dr. Jean, lay it out for us. Tell us the difference now between PTS and PTSD, please.
Post-traumatic stress is whenever a person has any kind of trauma, any kind of anxiety, and it happens again and again and again, and they don't have the coping skills, it affects their life.
Give me an example.
For instance, in a relationship, if a person is suffering from post-traumatic stress, they're not able to come home and laugh, they're not able to come home and talk, they just shut down, they isolate, they begin to not sleep well, they make poor choices, poor decisions, and the family begins to notice those things are beginning to happen. Now we have post-traumatic stress disorder that takes it one step further. And that's when they're truly not sleeping, they're truly not able to turn off their brain. And it happens whenever they're exposed to trauma after trauma after trauma.
Similar traumas?
Similar traumas, big traumas, little traumas. There's big T traumas and little T traumas.
Okay.
Little T would be you're driving down the street, somebody pulls in front of you, you get angry, you get upset, and you drop it. A big T is you see somebody that got shot. You saw somebody in a fire. You saw somebody die right in front of you. A loved one dies. Those are big T traumas.
EMDR.
EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. The only known technique that really, really helps. It's a therapy that helps take that negative perspective, completely change it. EMDR brings up a negative memory, somebody being shot, picking up a dead child from a car accident. Something that you just can't turn off. It's a negative memory that says something negative about yourself. I was powerless. There was nothing that I could do. I should have done something different. And then that memory starts working in other areas of their lives. So EMDR is using natural, normal REM sleep, left, right, bilateral stimulation to bring up that memory. It opens up both sides of the brain, the left brain and the right brain, the logic brain and the emotion brain. So when you sleep at night, your eyes move left, right in your head, taking today's events, putting them away, putting them in a place where you can wake up in the morning and you're free of that memory. When you have something big, a big trauma, and you're not able to sleep well, your brain keeps that negative energy between the left brain and the right brain, and the EMDR opens it up. And then it brings in other pieces of information. It allows logic to come into the emotion. So now it's, I did do the best that I could. I did CPR in that child. I held the mom while she cried while we wrapped the baby in the blanket. They begin to put logic. So then it's not I was powerless, it's I did the best that I could do.
Gotcha.
So the memory actually changes. It's the only therapy out there that changes the memory.
Darn it, I thought it was like humor and laughter.
Well,
darn it, I thought I had
important.
Gene.
So then they can laugh. So then they are able to use your humor.
Yes.
And they can then move through life in a whole different ballgame.
How does humor and laughter help?
Humor gives them permission to be able to laugh, to do that physical release. Because when we have tension, when we have anxiety, when we have PTS, when we have PTSD, it's a physical phenomena that's going on. We close up, we freeze, we feel things that we've never felt before, or we completely, totally shut off our feelings, our emotions. Our body clams up. Whenever we can physically laugh, it releases cortisol in the brain, it releases serotonin in the brain. So it begins to work on the physical body.
Now, I'm going to give an example that a highway patrolman told me. He's walking through a field after a horrible traffic accident, and he said body parts are scattered everywhere. There's another, the new officer on the scene is green. First time he's been to one of these things. They're walking through the field. The first officer told me the story. I mean, the green guy told me the story. They're walking through, on the ground is from the knee down, a leg with a shoe on it. That's all that's there. And he was horrified, and the other officer said, "Oh my God, looks like the corn's grown about a foot this year." and he said that he's laughing, and I sort of laughed, but should I not laugh at this? And so at that moment that kid got that, and he started laughing. Now to me, I want to see if I got this right. What makes the laughter happens, first of all, it's a funny play on words.
Exactly.
And now you're thinking funny, you're not feeling. That to me seems the value of humor. You're thinking, you're not feeling.
And it also allows that chemical reaction to occur. It allows serotonin to be released in the brain, which allows you to breathe. And when you can breathe, whenever your body is not as tight and tense, you can then deal with what you need to deal with. You say, yes, that is a leg, and yes, this was an accident, and you look at it as a fact and not an emotion. Raw emotion is nothing more than I don't know what to do with what just happened. There's no logic in it. It's all emotion.
How do you deal with raw emotion at that moment?
This.
No.
Truly. I do this myself. You can tap left, right, left, right. That allows both sides of the brain to work so that you can really begin to think about what you need to think about. The logic and the emotion. Because every situation that happens has both.
From a therapeutic point of view, why is it important to find humor and laugh at that moment?
Because you can't stay focused on something that brings you down. We have to be able to have some positive. Humor, just the thought of something that might bring some humor in, allows the big, gigantic cloud that is floating above them, that cloud of sadness, of horrific memories of things that happened, it allows that cloud to be released a little bit.
And in PTSD, to me the D, one of the things in D is that they dwell on it.
Absolutely. It's called hypervigilance. That's a part of it. I have to overprotect myself. I think about it all the time because if I forget about it, then I might be caught off guard and something bad's going to happen again. So that dwelling is really psychologically hypervigilance. It's part of PTSD.
Are they trying to protect themselves?
They're trying to protect themselves and others. Because if I'm the one that's aware, if I keep my eyeballs completely open, my ears completely open, I'll be able to protect me and those people that I love.
Gotcha.
So whenever we talk about D, it's dwelling on it, it's disaster, it's also a done. Whatever.
It's done when they start dealing with it.
It's done
There's
when they
another
start
D
dealing
word.
with it, absolutely. A trigger is there if indeed it's not processed, if indeed the hotness is there. So we want to do the therapy with them so that the hotness goes away so it's no longer a raw wire.
Can people get through PTS or PTSD with humor alone?
Humor alone, no. As much as I would like to say yes, I don't think that's a true statement.
Explain why, because I want to know why.
They need to have the therapy that goes along with it. They need to be able to undo the hot wires. They need to be able to process.
How important is humor in undoing the hot wires?
It's very important. They have to be
Keep
able
going.
to have that
Keep
ability
going.
to laugh.
Keep helping me out.
Absolutely. They have to know that it's okay to have humor. They have to know it's okay to laugh. In fact, it's essential that they laugh. It's essential that they put humor into their life.
They need to bring joy back into their lives.
Absolutely. By example, I had an officer, his wife, and the kids who were all in therapy, okay, at different times. They were going to an event. Mom and Dad were in the front seat, the two kids. I think he was about an 8 and a 4-year-old in the back seat. Kids heard Mom and Dad starting to argue. The 8-year-old was sitting behind Dad, reached up and starts tapping on Dad's shoulders, left, right, left, right. The little one wants to let go of his seatbelt so he can do that with Mom. Dad pulled the car over to the side so that the little one could reduce the seatbelt. So the kids are tapping left, right on Mom's shoulders. The whole family stopped arguing. They laughed together, and then they went to the event and had a good time. So kids can begin...
Look at this, that brings tears to my eyes.
Kids can be the person that allows a family to heal. When they learn the tools and the parents are okay with letting the kids in, it's huge.
Tell me about Walter's Walk.
Walter's Walk is our wonderful not-for-profit organization in St. Louis where we see people experiencing trauma, depression, anxiety. without insurance and without the ability to pay. We believe in whole body health, so we also do yoga, we do Tai Chi, we do massage work because people hold tension in their bodies. We have a gentleman who does laugh yoga because it's a very important thing, again,
Wonderful.
is to bring body issues into each and every movement that we can possibly do. When Walter's Walk came to being, whenever I had the opportunity to rent more space, instead of my little tiny office, I could rent 6,000 square feet, began to think about what I could do, and I thought of my father. My father had always said, you face your issues, you face your problems, you face what's going on in earth, and you can walk through it, walk to the other side. So whenever we needed a name, it was Walter's Walk, because he taught me to walk through whatever it was that was troubling me, and I would get to the other side. I saw him do it day in and day out.
That's just a template right there of getting through PTS and PTSD.
Exactly.
You have to walk through it.
Have to walk through it.
You can't get through it unless you go through it.
Absolutely. You can't go around it. People say get over it. You don't get over things. You have to get through things to get to the other side.
You don't have to run through it.
Nope.
But you have to walk through it.
Slowly, sometimes painfully, but there's people there to hold your hand while you're getting through it. And then you can let go of that hand and stand on your own 2 feet and be able to smile and say, I'm okay. I'm okay the way I am.